From Juju to the oneness of Juju. There are moments in the continuum of black music when a band stops being just a band. It becomes a vessel, a laboratory, a conversation between past and future, a mirror that reflects not only who we are, but who we are becoming. And if you listen closely, it becomes a teacher. This is one of those moments. San Francisco, 1971. That is where Juju was born, not out of industry strategy, not out of commercial positioning, but out of necessity. The necessity to align sound with spirit. The necessity to create a music that spoke to African identity, not as nostalgia, but as living presence. We called it African Astrofusion, because we were reaching in two directions at once, down into ancestral memory and outward into cosmic possibility. The drums were not accompaniment, they were the ground. The saxophone was not simply melodic, it was vocal, emotional, declarative. It screamed, it prayed, it testified. We were not trying to fit into jazz. We were trying to restore a continuum. When we moved to New York, we stepped into the loft jazz scene, a self-determined ecosystem where musicians created their own spaces, their own audiences, and their own definitions. No gatekeepers, no categories, just sound, intention, and community. You could walk into a loft and hear music that had no name yet. And that was the point. It was in those rooms that Juju became clearer about itself. We were not just experimenting. We were defining an Afrocentric, forward-moving musical language, not abandoning jazz, but expanding it beyond its accepted borders. In 1973, we recorded our first statement, Juju, a message from Mozambique. Even the title was intentional. Mozambique was not a metaphor. It was connection. It was an acknowledgement that what we were doing in the United States was linked to liberation movements, to African identity, to a global black consciousness. The music carried that weight. In 1974, I returned home to Richmond, Virginia, and we recorded our second album, Juju Chapter 2, Nia. Nia, purpose. And purpose is where the lesson begins. By 1975, reality entered the room. Richmond was not San Francisco. It was not New York. There was not an unlimited audience for avant-garde African free jazz driven by screaming saxophone, layered percussion, and open improvisation. At least not yet. Our mission was to impact the community. But what we discovered, what every serious artist eventually discovers, is that community is not a passive receiver. It talks back. And if you're listening, it teaches. Richmond taught us something essential. If the music is truly for the people, then it must also meet the people where they are, not by lowering its intention, but by expanding its language. So we evolved. The first and most significant change was bringing in my brother Muzi on bass. That immediately changed the nature of our sound from the jazz inference of the upright bass to the soulful, solid bottom and thump of his electric bass. We brought in Ronnie Toler, a drummer whose roots were deep in funk. He didn't just play time, he brought groove, weight, and body to the music. Suddenly, the rhythm didn't just move intellectually, it moved physically. We added Melvin Slip Glover on electric guitar, and with him came tonal colors connected to R&B and Southern soul. The sound opened up. It breathed differently. And then came the transformation. Jackie Holloman, Lady Eka-Ete. Her voice changed everything.
River love ride, sons and daughters of the universe, come together and learn how to love.
Where the saxophone could cry, her voice could speak. Where the band could surge, her voice could glide. She brought melody in a way that made the music more accessible without making it less profound. She didn't simplify the music, she translated it, and the people responded. Audiences grew, the connection deepened, the music began to circulate differently in the community. But with that growth came a realization we could not ignore. We were no longer the same band, not because we had lost something, but we had gained something. We had expanded into a broader expression of black music, and that is when the philosophy revealed itself. Jazz, funk, R&B, soul, African rhythms, these were not separate musics. They are branches of the same tree. They are different dialects of the same language. They are all African music, expressed through different histories, different geographies, different functions. The continuum made itself visible. So we made a decision. We changed the name from Juju to the Oneness of Juju, because we understood, not just intellectually, but experientially, that all black music is African music, and all African-derived music exists within a single evolving continuum. Different forms, different functions, different audiences, but one root, one spirit, one continuum, and that is the lesson. The music will teach you if you let it. It will teach you about sound. It will teach you about people. And if you stay with it long enough, it will teach you about yourself.